Previously on MDA.
Joe, come and meet the opposition. This is Amanda Mackay.
Hello.
Joe Gilchrist,
How do you do?
our newest member at Cato and Pittman.
Oh, congratulations.
So what did you do?
What any girl does, I charmed my way into a job.
Something I'm sure you do extremely well.
It's been known to work.
Could you or I provide required nutrients in a suitable solution and then administer it through a peg, which has to be maintained and kept sterilised, at a suitable rate to sustain your grandmother's life? No. This requires medical knowledge. This is medical treatment. It's not the same as sitting down and feeding her a portion of coq au vin followed by rhubarb crumble.
You can always change your mind.
And no, I just really do think it's what she'd want.
You need to prepare yourself for the possibility that the court will rule that it's palliative care.
You know, if you're not in a hurry, you could come up for coffee.
The thing is, if I come up, I might want more than coffee.
I had a call yesterday from a woman who claims that her child became extremely ill as a result of a vaccination.
For what?
MMR.
Okay, measles, mumps, rubella. All kids have it.
She sounded convincing, if a tad highly strung over the phone.
Not everyone that comes to us does have a valid case, so...
As in, some are merely disgruntled.
Yeah, well, Joe, bring her in. You know, we can hear her out.
I'm done. She's coming in today.
But I've got to warn you, I have a sharp nose for anyone simply seeking revenge.
Oh. Anything else you need to warn me about?
I don't think so. Should there be?
Anything else I need to know? Nothing
No.
you want to confess?
No, absolutely not. I'm a pillar of rectitude.
Oh, so you're saying all the stories are wrong?
Yeah, well, don't believe everything you hear.
It's mostly good.
Most of what you hear is true.
The phone system's pretty standard. The extensions are all marked. Can't really go wrong.
How you feeling?
A bit weird. All these steps along the way, and now Supreme Court, and at the end of the day, I've still got to make the decision.
There's a principle at stake. You'll be breaking ground for others.
Good morning.
I'm just trying to help my grandma, Jamie. Everyone keeps saying what a good thing I'm doing for other people. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm doing it for her.
The traffic was unbelievable.
Right, it's all yours now.
Jamie Laws. Yes, I did receive that.
Bill.
Yeah, that's
Frank.
fine. As long as you're...
I haven't seen you around in a while.
Retired. Yeah, I've done into your
Pay my practicing fee, but that's about it.
Writ, Frank Princey, you're the claimant.
Representing myself.
Brave man.
I'll be going then.
Good to see you again, Frank.
If you like, we could make a time, get together, talk about the statement of claim.
Well, no, I'm sure you'll understand, Frank, that I can't make any arrangements until I've talked to the doctor concerned to make sure that he's happy for us to accept service on his behalf.
Sure, of course. Sorry. Jumping the gun. Without practice. Well. I'll be in touch.
Do you know him, Bill?
Vaguely. He used to do a lot of advocate work, union work, that kind of thing. He ran off the rails at one point. I think his wife left him. That's what started it.
Mm-hmm. Who's the defendant?
David Bentley, psychiatrist.
Bentley. Memory loss through ECT. I've never been quite comfortable with ECT. It just Seems nobody has a clear understanding as to exactly how or why it works.
But it does work.
Hap, I've got to head off. Patrice is on top of things.
Yeah, well, we will do our best. Good luck.
Thanks.
We'll be thinking of you.
And no one's been accused of negligence, no one's injured or is suing, and no one has to defend their actions.
So it's not your usual trial then?
Well, perhaps helps to think of it more like a debate.
Right.
This case isn't about euthanasia and mercy killing. It's about the treatment of patients who will remain alive for the indefinite future, but who will not recover, and who are kept in that condition by artificial means. Now, the question is it permissible to withdraw the artificial means by which life is sustained?
Bentley's coming in. I can't say he sounded too surprised.
Psychiatrists never sound surprised about anything, haven't you noticed? So you've killed your wife. How do you feel about that? Hi.
I'm not sure who I should be talking to. I need to report an incident. I don't need to. I want to.
Jamie Lawless. I'm one of the doctors on staff.
Carol Westerman. I'm a GP.
Come on through.
I vaccinated a child with MMR vaccine 2 weeks ago. Soon after, she was rushed to hospital. She was fitting with a high fever. She was dopey, unresponsive.
You think it was a vaccine reaction?
Well, that's what I think. I don't know. I hope not.
Look, I know it's distressing, but it's not like it's your fault. It's a 1 in a million occurrence. These things happen.
I know they happen. It's just... The mother doesn't believe in vaccinations.
But you vaccinated the baby.
Irene, the mother, had been away for the day. The father waited until she left and then brought the baby in to be vaccinated.
I think we need a lawyer. Amanda?
Good morning, MDA.
You're saying that Irene didn't want to give permission for Poppy to be vaccinated?
The father, Harry, requested it.
So after she was vaccinated, you say that she was fitting. Were you there at the time?
Harry rang me. Irene had just got home. I think it was all very sudden. I told him to ring the ambulance. I rushed around. The ambulance arrived at the same time as I did. I told the ambos it was a possible vaccine reaction. Irene overheard and became hysterical.
Is that the first she knew?
He accused me of poisoning her child. I followed the ambulance and met them at the hospital.
And how was the baby?
The convulsions had stopped, as they do. I thought that might have been the end of it. How wrong can you be?
What do you mean?
I was thrown out. Harry was thrown out.
How can they throw out the father?
Harry just stepped back, trying to keep the peace.
So what's the baby's condition now?
She's home. It was only an overnight stay in hospital. But the parents have separated. Things are pretty tense.
And why have you waited till now to report it?
Well, Irene won't talk to me. She's a bit strange. I wouldn't like to predict what she might do.
We'll register it as an incident likely to proceed.
I was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
She only needs the authority of one parent. She's done what any reasonable doctor would have done.
No, any reasonable doctor would have called us for advice, and that advice would have been to tell the parents to take their problem to the family court and to stay well clear until she got a formal agreement, such as a court order issued for the vaccination.
But would it be a medical negligence case? There was nothing wrong with the way the vaccination was delivered.
Where's the medical negligence? Westerman willfully went ahead and did something she shouldn't have. She was acting contrary to instructions.
There's always that old favourite, failure to warn.
Not to mention assault.
Criminal charges?
No, not criminal assault, civil assault.
It's people like Irene Vartos that put the rest of us at risk. Carol Westerman was just practising good medicine. You're saying she should be punished for that?
I think you're confusing philosophy with the law, Jamison.
Excuse me, I'm David Bentley. I'm here to see Bill Henderson.
Dr. Bentley, Bill Henderson. Come through. Did you bring the history with you?
Yep.
Just in here. Simon, have you got a minute? Could you bring the writ with you, please?
Frank's been harassing me for the past 7 weeks. It started to become a bit of a nightmare, quite frankly.
Harassing in what way?
Oh, phone calls, messages on voicemail. I mean, it's nothing I can't handle. It's just Very unpleasant for my secretary.
Why did he have the ECT? What was the problem?
Long-term, totally debilitating depression, allied with constant suicidal thoughts. Well, I treated him with a range of antidepressants. Nothing seemed to work. Nothing had any impact.
Did he attempt suicide?
Well, that's when he finally agreed to the ECT.
All right, so it was voluntary?
Yes.
Was it successful?
Oh, very. Alleviated the depression, dragged him right out of it. However, it did leave him with significant memory loss.
And now he wants compensation.
I think you'll find he wants a lot more than that. He wants to outlaw the treatment, as he has told me, repeatedly. He's very focused, which I can't help finding just a little ironic. And this was a man who couldn't even drag himself to the front door when the bell rang, let alone leave the house. Now he has a purpose in life. To outlaw the treatment that was so effective, it gave him a purpose in life.
Self-representing depressive with memory loss, that's all I need.
Well, you may not need him, but the man does need a lawyer.
Well, at least on that point we concur. I can't see Princey getting anywhere with this. What do you think?
Well, my problem is I'm a surgeon. I like the mechanics. I like the defined nature of it. You know, you take this part out, it's going to have that effect. Every human body part serves a purpose. Now, Frank Princey, no matter what his problems, he suffered significant memory loss.
Do you think he's got a case?
Well, that depends on whether Bentley was negligent. I'm not really qualified to say.
Well, is there anyone in the pantheon of psychiatry that you'd recommend? Anyone come to mind?
Yeah, there's a consultant psychiatrist I've always found halfway normal. If you want, I can track her down, see what she thinks of it all.
Yeah.
There is no transparency. In court, we have transcripts, media attention. A guardian or medical power of attorney can make their decision behind a curtain in a hospital ward. Is there an appeal process? No. Is the guardian required to provide reasons? No. Your Honour, it goes to show this is an utterly disingenuous request.
I'm trying to understand what they're saying and I lose concentration for 1 second and I'm lost. And the words are just washing over me and I'm thinking, please, just get on with it. Just make a decision.
It's a very delicate issue. Layla, the court have got to be very, very sure that they're making the right decision. Thank you very much.
I understand that.
Do you make a conscious effort to be unhealthy, or is it just buried in your psyche?
My mother was cholesterol queen of the East.
Did your husband know how you felt about vaccinations?
He was always pressuring me, handing me all this propaganda. He waited until I was away and arranged for it to be done. I wasn't allowed to have an opinion.
To vaccinate or not is hardly just an opinion.
No, it's not. I could show you statistics.
I just want to get a few things clear. You're alleging that Dr. Westerman acted against your express wishes when she vaccinated your daughter, Poppy. And as a direct result of that vaccination, your daughter may have sustained some sort of injury.
It's not just some sort of injury. She's not the same child anymore.
In what way?
She doesn't speak. She just sits in the corner and rocks. She won't look at me. That stuff has destroyed her.
First question to answer, is the problem real or just in Irene's mind?
Well, there was only a case if the baby has actually sustained an injury.
Right, I'll arrange a neurological assessment.
Proving causation will not be easy. The medical establishment won't be of any help.
Know anyone who might?
I've got a couple of contacts with a more alternative bent.
Oh, should I be surprised?
Don't think I can answer that. No, the real question here is, was the doctor competent and did she fulfil her duty of care to Poppy?
Maybe a professional misconduct charge.
Well, that'll be of interest to the medical board. Now, we have to find if there's been any negligence, okay?
Okay.
So if the statistics are on your side, which they are, then why wouldn't you get your child vaccinated?
Yeah, well, you're preaching to the converted, Amanda.
Has the mother lost contact with reality? Could it be postnatal depression?
Yeah, possibly, it could.
I mean, these are fanatical beliefs, aren't they? I think that's verging on insane.
Yeah, but not all fanatics are insane, Amanda. It depends on whether the fanaticism stems from beliefs that rise out of delusion or out of hallucination rather than out of reality.
Where do you want to eat?
I don't want to eat.
Is that all you think about?
I'm kind of, I'm watching the clock.
That was Carol Westerman. Irene Vartos has seen a lawyer.
Not about a divorce, presumably.
Carol's shitting herself.
There's still no case to answer, though.
She's seeing a lawyer. Carol's a member who is going to need her help.
Now, you know what I don't understand is that surely the father would have known that the mother is anti-vaccination before they had the child. I mean, it's just madness the whole thing was left until after they had the baby.
No, it's probably not the kind of conversation that you're going to have with your partner. Darling, would you like to have a baby? By the way, how do you feel about vaccinations? At that stage of proceedings, you're more interested in the baby-making process than the child-rearing philosophy.
That must be where I've been going wrong.
The lack of preparation before pregnancy is what contributes in large part to our substantial divorce rate, Jamieson.
Harry rang me this afternoon. He's got something to tell you.
She was already sick.
Sorry?
When Harry brought Poppy in to be vaccinated, I asked him all the usual standard questions, as you always do. What had her health been like? Had she had any problems?
I didn't think it was that serious.
I could see that she was flushed. I assumed it was because she'd been crying. I was in a rush.
Wait a minute. What exactly do you mean by sick? How sick is sick?
Best I can make out, she'd had one vomit and one loose stool.
I just wanted to get her vaccinated. It was the only chance I had.
I should have checked her temperature. I was overbooked. I said I'd fit him in as a favour. I knew how desperate he was, but if I'd known that she was sick, if I just checked her out...
You wouldn't have vaccinated her.
Jamieson, you were telling me this morning this was an inconsequential mosquito of a case.
I may have been wrong.
On a cheerful note, I shall make my departure.
Hi, how's it going?
Fine, thanks.
Ah, Layla, how'd you go?
I just feel like they're going round and round in circles.
Better to get the 30-second summary on the TV news.
It's lost all connection to my grandma. I've got right to life arguing what's the difference between this and euthanasia, and soon we'll be able to kill whenever we want to, and it's... How was Patrice?
Oh, she was fine. I'm taking an early minute. Are you going to visit your grandmother?
Yeah, my sister should already be there. We're both sitting with her more now.
Mind if I join you?
No.
Bill? Just heard that Frank Princey is suing one of your members.
No, you know we can't talk about this, Richard.
No, I heard he was self-repping, and I just wondered if he was okay. Maybe I should give him a ring.
Well, he could do us some help, actually.
Thanks.
Do you really want to deal with Richard?
Better the devil you know.
She's one of the only connections Mosh and I have to Iran. People think when you leave a country because you've been persecuted, you don't love that country anymore. It's not true.
We are creatures of many loyalties.
Torn in many directions.
You've chosen the right one, Layla.
Thank you.
I'm going to get some milk. Do you need anything?
No, I'll probably head home later on.
Simon, do you have a thing about eating breakfast alone?
No, look, I wouldn't make too much of it.
But that's what you're doing by always needing to go home.
I don't need to go home.
No, I know you choose to. I'm aware of the difference. It just makes me feel a bit incidental.
That's not the way that it's meant to.
No, but it's the way I feel. Maybe tonight's not such a good idea.
Yeah, you're probably right. See you tomorrow.
Have you seen this garbage on the net? The reason why vaccines are unsafe is because they're made up of chemicals and other elements that are poisonous to the body. Bollocks.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi.
Jamie's outraged by the level of disinformation put on the net by rabid anti-vaccination organisations.
What a surprise.
They're all full of conspiracy theories.
Doesn't mean they're wrong.
They think it's all a CIA plot.
Most of what we get is spin from one side or another.
Who told you?
I don't know, I heard around the trap. So, Frank, why didn't you give me a call? I would have helped you out, you know that.
It's my problem. It's okay.
Frank, the only thing that self-representation is good for is conveyancing. No, you need a second voice, and if it's money you're worried about, I wouldn't charge you. You taught me everything I know. So come on, well, tell me, what's this about?
I wasn't competent. I gave my consent, but I wasn't competent.
Right.
Do you know anything about this electroconvulsive therapy?
No.
It's barbaric. It's destroyed me. I'm terrific to 89. 90 to 95, I can't remember a thing. I know that Elizabeth left me in 90. It's on the divorce papers. I can't remember why she left me.
So ECT did this?
Yeah. Bentley may well have warned me about memory loss, but I can't remember.
Sure.
The
There
same
are
as I
certain
can't.
situations where memory loss, can be quite convenient. You'd be surprised how many clients can't remember things after we've conferred before a trial. There was that, what was his name? That union official. Do you remember?
Bill
Wheeler. Bill Wheeler, that's right. It was suggested to Bill it would be more convenient if he remembered nothing.
Jeez, I'd tell you if I could remember, but I just... I did it so well.
Yeah, you're telling me. 30 or 40 photographs went missing, yeah?
And negatives.
And negatives, which captured certain shenanigans on a picket line, if I recall.
You might say that. I couldn't possibly...
No, that's...
Bill, expert opinion on David Bentley.
What's it say?
It says he was first class. It says he did everything by the book. It says he uses all the latest techniques. It says he's pretty well perfect. He's even done recent upgrade training in the UK.
Home of the depressive. So in her opinion, there's no case to answer?
Exactly.
Does he have a case?
Well, it's an interesting conundrum. He signed a consent form, but was he competent to do so?
Well, if he wasn't competent, what would have happened?
An authorised psychiatrist could still give him the treatment if he thought it was urgent or of clinical merit.
So, in other words, he would have had it anyway.
Most likely, yeah.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't. Was the treatment effective?
Lost a large chunk of his memory.
Well, is he still depressed?
Functional. He's functional.
You better keep reading then.
Yeah. Okay, so how are you going with Vartos?
I got a very interesting neurological assessment.
Interesting enough to pursue?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll get a statement of claim underway.
Done.
God, I'm going to have to lift up my game here a little bit, aren't I?
I got a way to go to catch you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm as fast as I used to be.
Well, the symptoms would be quite similar. Rotavirus can cause confusion and altered conscious state. The child would have been massively dehydrated.
But febrile convulsions could well have been a vaccine reaction.
Oh, hang on. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. They're claiming the child now has autism as a result of the MMR vaccine. Have you seen this?
Once I saw it was a legal letter, I put it straight back in the envelope, brought it here.
The neurological assessment's a bit of a worry. Poppy shows little eye contact, more interested in interacting with objects than humans, and has ceased using meaningful language.
That's not the Poppy I knew.
Are you saying she's changed?
Sounds like she's regressed substantially.
Is it possible that the vaccination was the cause?
There is a theory, you can read about it all on the net, that there is a link between autism and MMR vaccine, but it is a theory that has been widely debunked.
So what else could have caused this child's behaviour to change so dramatically?
She may still be feeling the effects of the virus.
Or she's responding to tension at home. I gather Irene is quite volatile.
Always on the edge. Poppy may simply be extremely distressed, but that's not of my doing.
According to this, you told the hospital that you blamed yourself.
I do blame myself for not examining her more thoroughly before vaccinating her.
Well, you were concerned for the welfare of your patient, and rightly so. Information was withheld from you by the child's father, and that could only have served to cloud your judgment.
Is that a defence?
It's the beginning of one.
If this does go to court, we can show the world how dangerous these anti-vaccination people are. It's not just their own kids they're putting at risk.
Jamison, a court case would be publicity heaven for the anti-vaccination lobby. Gutsy little Irene fighting the big bad drug companies. I mean, these people are beyond logic. There's no arguing with them.
It's medical incompetence. The child was sick. She should never have been vaccinated. If Westerman had given her a proper examination, she would have realised. She said so herself. The repercussions are catastrophic.
But autism, as a result of a routine vaccination. It's a bit rich, isn't it, even for Cato and Pittman?
Irene believes her child's been poisoned, that she's been brain damaged. Westerman's actions are clearly, undeniably what caused her this distress. Thank you.
Causation of her distress I can buy. But there is simply no evidence that the MMR vaccine causes autism.
Poppy Vartos was a healthy, bright 2-year-old before having a vaccination, which her mother was vehemently opposed to. Now she's withdrawn, introverted, passive.
Jo, you can't blame the vaccine. The cause might be genetic, it might be environmental, it might be caused by radio waves, by living with the mother. We just simply don't know.
Radio waves? I'd be interested to see the expert opinion to back that up.
Well, the point is you can't claim causation.
Can and will, Amanda.
We're not forking out a cent.
On a bet.
How's it going?
Joy Gilchrist won't back down. But I suspect her argument might carry some weight. It's hot, I just boiled it. Thanks.
Listen, I'm sorry about last night. I don't want you to think that I don't want to be with you.
I know you're just trying to work things out.
It's hard being this close to you. Is there somewhere a bit more private we can go?
I don't know whether Frank has told you, but I thought I'd tell you myself. I'm taking over the case for him.
Trust you'll excuse me if I don't hoot and holler at that news.
It is pretty tragic what's happened, though.
There's no case to answer.
All right. So what do you suggest? The man has got a substantial memory deficit, which is clearly caused by the ECT that Bentley inflicted. It's simple, really.
You asked him what he was like before the ECT? Maybe living with memory loss is a heck of a lot better than living with a debilitating suicidal depression.
All right, so you tell me, how could he competently approve the treatment that was dished out? How could he do that?
It's straightforward. His treating psychiatrist judged him to be competent.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying, Frank.
I was there. I saw the two of you together.
I see Bill all the time.
In the park?
Yeah, frequently in the park.
You're conspiring against me.
That is ridiculous, Frank. Come on, mate. Why would I conspire against you?
Don't put it back on me.
Frank,
I know what you're trying to do.
I am not conspiring against you. Come on, Frank. You're starting to sound paranoid or something.
Did you talk about me? Did you talk about my case?
No.
Oh, Richard. Now, I know you're lying. I taught you all you know.
Yeah, sure. And we both know, don't we, that you don't tell the client everything? I'd be mad to. Sure. All right. Yes, Bill and I, we talked about your case. No, we talked about your case. I wanted to test the water, and that's just the way that I operate. Yeah. Frank, I know how fragile you are. You told me yourself, and I don't want you to take this in the wrong way, but Look, you even brought it up. The point of this case is the issue of your competency to make decisions, right?
I was depressed then. I'm not depressed now.
All right, well, we need to prove injury, and we need to prove that there is an adverse outcome. If we don't do that, we don't have a case. So I'd like you to have a neuropsych assessment.
No! No, I thought you were my friend.
Frank, it's
no,
standard,
listen!
no.
I am.
It's a standard
I
procedure.
am not going near a shrink
All right,
again,
if
ever.
we don't do that,
No,
we
listen.
can't prove your case.
No,
It's as
no,
simple as
listen!
that.
You never listen, do you? No!
It's catch-22, Frank. I'm sorry, but we're stuck with it. Thanks, Guido.
So we're just taking on the Bentley case.
Well, doesn't he realise that's a waste of time?
I don't know, but if we get the Bentley case notes and the expert opinion to him, surely he'll see there's no case and we can wash our hands of it.
Okay. Okay, anything else for me to do?
Amanda might be able to do some help.
Oh, yeah. Caterers are going for broke over Westerman. General damages, loss of future income, lifetime medical care for Poppy, nervous shock for Irene.
They haven't got any evidence, though, surely.
A troubled kid. Research from a London hospital which indicates a connection to the measles component of the MMR.
Yeah, I've seen Jamie's research, and those London results are questionable. It wasn't controlled, it was a small sample population. Most researchers have dismissed it.
Well, it might seem to us like hypothetical speculative poppycock, but believe me, Cato's will have a very different view.
What's our official line?
That it is hypothetical speculative poppycock. I've got to go and catch up with Layla and Jamison.
You need to be able to quantify your memory loss and any of the other repercussions of your treatment, then that's it. I can handle it from there.
Some reading matter for you.
Oh, Frank, come on, no more. I've already read so much on depression and ECT. I could sit a psychiatrist.
Why not? I mean, you're obviously in league with them.
What are you talking about?
First, you go to MDA behind my back.
I explained that.
And now, you're trying to force me back under their power.
What? Whose power?
The psychiatrists.
You're starting to lose the plot now. You really are.
I don't think so. I've got you cold. It's all there. Black and white. Condemned by your own words.
Very detailed notes of our meeting.
I'm going to have you rubbed out. I'm going to lay a complaint with the Law Institute.
What? This is crazy.
No, it's all there. How you destroyed evidence, how you influenced witnesses, and now how you've conspired against me.
Frank, how's this going to help you? How's this going to help your case?
It's going to put you back in your box, mate.
Meaning?
No more talk of psychiatric tests. No more collusion with the enemy. I want fair compensation for losing half my life. If not, I'll be knocking on the door of the Institute.
They're not budging at the moment. They keep denying causation, digging up some pretty heavy hitters on their side.
Right.
Our stats are looking good, though, especially the Florida study. Hello.
Yeah, I try and do someone a favour. Christ, I go out of my way to try and do someone a favour.
Sorry?
Frank Princey, he's not easy. This guy's threatening to lay a complaint against me at the Law Institute.
I don't see why you're so worried. How many complaints go to a hearing?
Almost none.
A whinge from a dysfunctional and vexatious member is hardly going to stir them from their slumbers, especially when you're a clean skin. Someone's laid a complaint about you before.
Joe, I'm aggressive. People don't like me. That's just the way things are. They make complaints.
Has anyone ever followed anything up?
Frank might. He's one of those characters sort of believes in pushing things forever, you know. He could put a whole different spin on things.
What if you can show he's incompetent? You don't want to do it, do you?
No, it means I'd have to show them evidence.
Which you don't have?
Which I'd prefer not to make public.
I'm up next.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm not really looking forward to it. On my own, facing all those people in their wigs and gowns, I don't really know what I'm going to say.
We'll tell them what you've told us. There's a very good reason why you've come down this path, Layla.
Because I know Mother June would hate being in the state she's in, but how do I say that to a group of strangers? How do I make them understand that?
Don't worry about me.
What do you mean?
I'll be there. Just imagine you're talking to me.
She was very proud of her long hair. She had hair down to her waist. And every morning from when I was 6 or 7, I used to help her brush it. It was a ritual. And when we brushed her hair, she would talk about life and death and about joining her husband and her parents in the other place. She'd done all she could to lead a dignified life, and I know that she dearly wanted a dignified death. Now she's reduced to a life that is no life. She's fed through a tube, a catheter to collect her waste, and her hair's all cut off short. And I know if she were aware of her situation, she would be humiliated. So, please, I'm just asking to be able to give her a dignified end to it all.
Nein. Mir gefällt die Marke. Ich dachte, dir gefällt so etwas nicht. Ja, und wie viele cylinders? How many cylinders? Ja, super. Besser als der alte Audi, hä? Ja. Yeah, the usual. Usual time. Okay, ciao. Tschüss.
How is she?
The same, you know. Yeah, she's good. She bought a new car. The old Audi finally died. We talk about work and mutual friends, that sort of thing. It's getting difficult to talk about anything else.
I know what it's like.
I want to explain that to you.
You don't have to. Really. We going?
Yeah. It's actually bizarre, isn't it, that all these anti-vaccination groups conveniently proliferated after the eradication of smallpox.
The Memento test for TB.
Right, well, that's ancient history, Bill.
On behalf of everyone in the room over 40, thank you very much. You lot have no idea what it's like to be in the middle of an epidemic. My best friend had polio when he was 7. I was never allowed to see him again. Bill Henderson. Richard. This level of detail you do not get from memory. Look at this, Savage, 30 or 40 photographs went missing, Princey and negative, Savage and negatives. He had a tape recorder. Shit. Shouldn't be surprised, the man's obviously a nutter.
Now I know why you were so keen to palm him off to me.
No, I just thought he was depressive. I didn't think he was going to be able to handle things himself.
The second meeting, he was angry. He came prepared. I could believe he'd use a tape recorder, but the first time we met, he had no reason to be worried about me.
Maybe he tapes every conversation he has. Could have developed a kind of obsessive habit of...
Well, it's all about memory. He's scared of forgetting things, you see. And so, yeah, you're right. He tapes every conversation he has.
I can't believe you said all this.
I was trying to make him relax. It was just banter.
Well, banter away, for Christ's sake, but you're not supposed to talk about this sort of stuff. You might do it, but you don't talk about it.
So what do I do?
I don't know. I'm a lawyer, not a psychiatrist.
Carol. Oh, hi. This is Simon Lloyd. He's sitting in for Jamie Lawless today.
Hello. I've read through the file, and I think there's nothing to worry about.
Okay. Harry. Hi. Look, I'm really sorry, but I've been told by your wife's solicitor that there's been a request made for you not to attend today.
But I'm the father.
You're also not a named party to this legal action.
That's ridiculous. You're talking about my daughter, my wife.
You must understand how delicate this situation is.
I've got every right to be part of it.
Sir, You'll have your chance to put forward your side, but that's not the purpose of this meeting.
She's trying to take Poppy away from me.
That's not what this is about, Harry.
She's been looking for an excuse.
Look, you can't go in there. We'll let you know what happens.
She can't do this to me.
Thanks, Harry. Thank you.
Just so everybody understands, this is just a preliminary discussion.
To begin with, we don't concede any liability, and we have no intention of making any offers. In fact, if it were possible within this kind of a forum, we would be making a counterclaim for Dr. Westerman for her pain and suffering and loss of income.
Can they do this?
No, they can't.
It was Mrs. Vartos's irrational beliefs which put Dr. Westerman in this extremely difficult and delicate position in the first place.
She was well aware of those beliefs before she put herself in that position.
I had the father's authority.
But she didn't have mine. Mrs. Vartos, the patient's welfare was paramount. Dr. Westerman saw herself as acting in the best interests of her patient. Parental beliefs were secondary.
Can we get back to the claim actually listed on the writ? The damage this event has done, specifically the nervous shock to Irene Vartos in being forced to see her child in a highly distressed state, and most importantly, the onset of autism, which was caused by the MMR vaccination, which Dr. Westerman knew to be against my client's express wishes.
We reject any claim of a causal link between autism and the MMR vaccination.
I can provide a truckload of information that shows there is a connection.
And Joe, there is another truckload from leading medical experts which totally reject those claims as specious.
My baby doesn't talk to me anymore.
Do you have a figure in mind, Joe?
$5 million for Poppy, plus $100,000 for Mrs. Vartos, plus costs.
We reject that Dr. Westerman was negligent in her treatment of Poppy.
What a complete waste of time. What's wrong with those people? Why can't they understand?
Amanda, I'm just going to, could you just mind this?
It's going to be up to the court.
You're in the pockets of the drug companies. That's what this is all about. You're being ridiculous, Irene. There's no truth in what
Amanda, call an ambulance. Somebody get a first aid box.
Hello, yes, an ambulance, please.
What's happening?
Legal mediation centre, the 9th floor.
You're all right, mate. Put your arm up for me. That's the way.
Opposite the park, that's right.
That's the way.
Leave him alone. He's just bleeding. He wants attention. He wouldn't have done it properly anyway. That's enough, Irene. Why don't we go for a walk? Come on.
Keep your hand up for me, buddy. That's it. Keep breathing. Thank you. That's the way. That pulse is stable. It's pretty deep. He's lucky he didn't sever an artery. That's the way, Harry.
Is anyone on the lookout for Frank?
Gita rang him. He's at home.
Interesting location.
Yeah, chosen both for its geographic proximity as well as its relative discreetness. David Bentley, Richard Savage.
I had no idea Med Neg was so cloak and dagger.
What could be more open than a casual stroll in the fresh air?
David does have a good point. Look, before we start talking, before we say anything, I just want to say up front that this is a bit of a strange one. I feel somewhat uncomfortable. If at any time, if you feel like you don't want to be here,
I won't hesitate to leave.
How can I put this? We're talking about a hypothetical case here, a hypothetical client, and we were hoping that you might be able to...
Or if your client is proving problematic and you want to talk about him?
Richard's acting on behalf of a client, actually a hypothetical client who is suing one of our members. Now, we've had a top specialist check out the case history. There is no case. The suit's going nowhere. We're both agreed on that.
And does Richard's hypothetical client concur with this opinion?
He seems to have lost interest in the original claim and transferred his not inconsiderable anger onto other matters.
Oh, interesting. Now, I have a hypothetical client who, after making threats against me, now appears to have another target in his sights.
He also believes Bill and I are colluding.
Which you're not.
Definitely not.
Well, you should be warned in case the hypothetical client has an anger management problem.
Okay. Right.
Or is there any sign of physical aggression?
No, not that I've seen.
Has he created scenes, posed a risk to himself or to other people?
Well, the man is threatening my career.
Now, that's not a life-threatening risk, and that's not an argument you can use to have him committed. I wouldn't worry about it. Eventually he will move on.
So what am I supposed to do in the meantime?
Well, buy an answer machine. Take out an injunction. Look, I think that's all I've got to say.
Thank you, David. It's appreciated. Looks like that's it.
Come on, Frank, you know what you mean to me. You're like a father to me. You're the best. I learned everything from you.
I didn't teach you to ignore client instructions.
You taught me to win. You got your tape recorder switched on?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Frank, don't play games with me. I thought we were friends. What friend takes a surreptitious recording of a conversation? Friends don't do that, Frank. And clients of lawyers don't do it either. You have crossed the line.
No, not
Mind
me,
you.
mate. It's not me.
I know why you're doing it, and don't think I'm not sympathetic. Your memory's shot.
Oh, really?
Frank, you're scared people are saying things behind your back.
They're lies, Richard.
No, not lies. You're taking protective action. And I understand that. I know what you're like. I bet you if I went home with you, I bet you I'd see them all lined up.
What you know all about me, Dad?
Yes, every single conversation you've had since you left hospital. Is that when you started doing it? All beautifully labelled, dated, chronological order. That'd be
What
right,
is
wouldn't it?
this?
Because that is the man that you are, Frank. Nothing to chance. Everything so meticulous, isn't it? That's why Elizabeth left you, isn't it?
Hey,
You drove
hey,
her
hey.
to distraction, all those
Shut
little
up.
obsessions.
You just shut that. You
Why
just
should I shut up, Frank? I'm doing you a favour, Frank. You okay?
It's him, not me.
I don't know what got into him. We were just talking.
He's trying to destroy me.
Hey, calm down, mate. Calm down.
The court has formed the firm conclusion that artificial nutrition and hydration is medical treatment within the meaning of the Act. The making of this declaration will now enable Mrs. J.L.'s medical power of attorney to decide on her behalf whether it is now time to allow her to die with dignity.
She doesn't feel pain, Layla. She doesn't feel anything.
But you don't know that for sure. I know it's what everyone keeps telling me. I know you're right. I know it here. But I will feel pain. I'll feel pain just watching her starve to death. If she was in Iran, it wouldn't be an issue. She would have died years ago.
I'll sit with you.
You might not want to be part of this, Jamie.
I'd like to stay.
O Son of Being, if thine heart be set upon this eternal, imperishable dominion, and this ancient, everlasting life, forsake this mortal and fleeting sovereignty.
An invitation to your hallowed tavern was the occasion.
Cheers. I owe you a drink.
Pathetically, I gather.
My client's had an unfortunate relapse.
What happened?
Very, very volatile these days.
You lit the match, you bastard.
Come on, mate. Of course not. You do know what this means.
Yeah,
right?
it means that he's out of your head.
No, it means he's going to have some form of psychiatric assessment, and with a bit of luck, he's going to get committed.
Yeah. Problem solved.
So what was I supposed to do, Bill? Lie down, let him walk all over me? Huh? Frank's got a great mind. It's a bit unstable. That was sort of part of his charm. But the way he is now, this is cruel. He's paranoid. He suspects anyone that is trying to help him out.
Yeah, with very good reason, it seems.
Bill, he was going to get committed sooner or later. I just helped speed things up.
Yeah. Always thinking of the other person, aren't you, Richard?
There was no other option. You know that.
He wanted help and you fucked him over. Nice work.
Do you have to call Eva?
No, we don't talk every day necessarily. Hey, you're buying a new car. You're not planning on coming home, are you? I know It's something Eva and I have to work out. We just haven't had the conversation where we admit that it's not working.
Oh, it's part of the deal, isn't it? Feeling good about someone one minute and guilty as hell the next.
How long does that last, do you think?
Probably until a decision gets made.
I want to make it. I want to move on.
It's been a few days. Maybe we should give it a week.
Joe, thanks for coming. I hope I didn't interrupt anything.
Anytime, Richard.
Careful, I might take you up on that one. And what are you drinking?
Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc and Sauvignon. How'd you go today?
You don't want to know. It's gotten very messy. MDA's going to want to test it in court.
We need to look into the link with autism.
Yeah, we got time now.
Thank you. You're going to make your name with this one.
I'm going to need some help.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Right. So, here's to us.
Oh, bullshit. Come on, you're Mr. Sutton. Operated on the wrong hip, discovered his mistake, so he did the other one as well.
He's thorough.
And he billed my client for both hips.
But he gave a 10% discount.
You'll be making an offer.
Leave it with me, Fergus.
That was the British Medical Research Council. They have found no evidence linking autism or bowel disease with MMR.
Well, of course not. The whole idea is ridiculous.
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Any new crises? We don't have crises, Mark. Simply issues of varying magnitude.
No. How very reassuring.
Oh, by the way, Karen Westerman phoned. Harry's going to be okay.
Physically.
Yeah, but mentally he's stuffed. Poor bastard.
Medical Defence Australia, Layla speaking. Sure. Jamie, Penny Silvani for you.
Penny, how are you?
Medical Defence Australia, Layla speaking.